Welcome in, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Jane, and I was guided to bring this really important message to you today. And I'm going to just pull out one of these cards here. Spirit wants me to read this at the end of the reading. If you're still here, you'll get that message. I was receiving the number 134 when I was out on my walk. I've been seeing it for about a week now. It's pretty much everywhere all the time. And so I believe that it started with, it's like, oh, is there some like kind of new beginning coming in? The one represents new starts, new beginnings. Number three represents, for me, number three represents actually a few things, but for me, for this reading, the first impression I received when I saw the number three, and I kind of just took the time to think about it, it has to do with like the Trinity. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, you know what I mean? And then the number four is all about like the stability and like having the foundation. So this is a different deck that I've had for a long time, and I haven't actually really worked with it. So they asked me, I was going out for a meditation walk the other day, yesterday, I think, and they asked me if I would take this deck and keep it with me and do a meditation on it. So I did. And when I come back, I pulled out these cards. Now this is the next day that I'm now going to do this reading for you. So I'm going to pull out a card here. Okay. All right, Spirit. Okay, so we're just going to get into it. So these cards, they're read in a few different ways because they have a lot of symbols on them. They have their number, like the wheels. The wheels have specific meaning. All the things that are within the wheels have meanings. So I'm just going to get right into that because I believe that I noticed, okay, I'm going to just start off, I guess, with a lot of my readings the past month or so have been really coming out, bringing up a lot about ancient beings and ancient type energy. So, and this, I believe, is still like a continuation of that. So, the card here, number 8, sign, that is about how the sign is about, it talks about like astrologers, oracles, seers, diviners, like again, those are like the ancients. It's also about like your identity, your personality, your essence of being. It also is about that we all get the signs, and it's about being able to interpret the signs. Like that's the first thing, right? Is receiving those signs. And then, being able to interpret them, it's like a whole different thing because the signs mean different things for different people. So how I would receive, like if I had a vision of an eagle, the impression that I would get of that eagle would be different of what you would probably get, if you know what I mean, for your message. So it's about training your mind to catch those signs and learn to interpret them for yourself, right? So it's all about your identity and your personality, and it all has to like entangle in that because it all, in the end, like with the card here, presence, is about your blueprint, right? So then before we get to number 10, you'll notice that you have 8, 9, 10, and that was the impression that I got with the number 134, because that's what really started it all, was that number 134 kept like bothering me, and I had to like find out what it was going on, because it's talking about this new beginning in a higher consciousness. I believe that's what the 134 means, because I think that like you've received some sort of stable foundation to build on. So the number 9, the disciple card here, this is all about authority and your allegiance and your confidence. and that the confidence is going to be um fully like blossoming, like of your power, like your power is going to start to blossom, yet you don't recognize the very highest source of your power, like you still haven't like fully embraced that, because your crown chakra does not care about the day to day, like those experiences and the senses of, you know what I mean? This is about like the lineage of teaching, of authority, of your identity, going back into history. And like I'll even say that, even with the number 8, like where it has about I was talking about like the astrologers and oracles and seers and psychics and all that, like the discipline card, it actually talks about that lineage and the authority, and that, like the history. Because if you even go back into history, like they're talking about here, they're saying like your lineage goes back like really far. Because they're even saying like kings used to use these astrologers and oracles and seers and psychics and people that did divination. They used them to gauge through and like a collective reading, like I'm doing today. I'm doing a collective reading for people, and it's to gauge the nation. They were able to gauge like what was going on with their people, and like the health and the state of the people, you know what I'm saying? So um with this number 9 discipline card, this is all about you finding your identity, you accepting your authority, because it's going to become into this full blossoming of your power. And this wheel also talks about like each element has been there throughout history to witness your contact between the higher and the lower energies, the past and the present. And there's going to be this new phase of learning and teaching. So you're not only going to be a teacher, you're going to be a student. And that the teacher, you got to remember though, like even though you could be like an oracle like I am, or a psychic, I guess I'm not too, but I guess I kind of resonate with all of these, because throughout all the generations, throughout all my experiences of life and death cycles here in the consciousness of the universe, I have been all of these things and many others. You know what I mean? Like the thing is that it's all about having the confidence to, and because these elements have borne witness to all of these things that you have done in previous lifetimes. And like, and what struck me the most was that the witness card came out right under disciple. Do you know what I mean? So this is just like, again, like the witness card here talk is all about be ready to speak out. Your heart knows the truth. You are witnessing it day to day, or right here, right now in this reading. But what is your contribution to the whole is the question with this card. Do you want to do you want your soul to be remembered as being part of the contribution of the whole of the universe? Because like our souls are chills, like you don't even know, like I am literally shivering. The This is where you have to decide, do you want to be a part of the bigger whole? You know what I mean? And if that's the case, then that's where we move into the card number 10, the presence, because you have to be present for that. So, this card indicates that someone is in their full possession of their mental powers, along with the understanding of these deeper levels of reality. And it goes back to, like, again, like the presence is about your blueprint, right? So they're like repeating with these numbers like 8, 9, 10. This is like the next stages of your um Ascension process, yes, spirit, because, here we have number one is the seed, right? And the seed is what starts it all. The seed is where, like, because number 10 also talks about, it's about the tree of life, number 10, right? So it talks about, like, because you understand like all the deeper levels of reality and your blueprint, we all have, like we all have that blueprint within us. It's the tree of life, basically, right? It's the seeds that we plant in previous lifetimes, that we've planted like in the past, and are going to happen for the present and the future, you know what I'm saying? But this presence card here actually talks about understanding like the wisdom and the judgments and the mercy. And it's only when the brain is silenced, that you can become receptive, and having no fear to work in your garden, to stake out the land, to prepare the soil. Only then can your crown be in the presence. You know what I mean? It can, because that's when you can invite in the consciousness of the universe. It's a place that you're going to invite in to grow there. And then, like, also that's when you need to also learn, the knowing of when to put down your tools and stop and be the student. And like your efforts, like put down your tools and stop your efforts for a while. Like if you feel like you're really kind of like spinning your wheels, that is an indication for you to stop, and like stop all your efforts just for a while, wait and watch and be the student. You know what I mean? And then attune yourself back to the flow and sense of the growth is beginning. Because, like the everyday life can really kind of overtake us and become more than what we are. Like that the outside can start to overwhelm and take over your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Now, um, you come up with we have the card thirst here too, because the thirst is your consciousness. You've probably spent many years of asking questions of, why do I feel this, and why do I think that, and why this, why that. That's your consciousness. That's the realms of our personalities, the experience which governs our waking and sleeping lives. You know what I mean? And changing the patterns of our interactions, it can shape and process the impressions of what we receive. You know what I mean? And then this particular wheel takes us, this is about like our imagination, about our responsive state, but it also is about our unstable levels of experience, because the world can affect our dreams and create illusions for us, right? But your thirst is always going to be there for the higher consciousness, because you have the crown here setting up, like that's the highest, right? The presence is the highest level to be able to receive. And you need to remember too that when, like with the number 9, this is also about that new phase of learning and teaching, because the teacher is only the channel for the teaching. Like me, I am only the channel. Like, I don't know what they're trying to teach you today. Well, I know what they're trying to teach you because they had me like do all this, but I mean, I wouldn't have been able to like think of all this myself. Like this, I am just the teacher. I'm just the to bring this message to you. I'm just the channel for the teacher. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just a tool basically for the teacher. And the teacher is coming from an ancient place. Like this wisdom is coming from an ancient place. Yes. Okay. And then we have like, then I pulled out these 3 cards here. So we have empath, and the empath is because you could be like confusing other people's energy with your own, because you're such a high sensitive being that your thoughts and emotions can be easily taken over by an unseen realm. And I think it's where you're going to have to like pull yourself back. And maybe that's where they want you to take that step back and go, okay, so wait a minute, what's going on right now? And that's when you get like, because you could be confusing your energy with other people's energies, even your thoughts. So, taking that step back and reattune yourself back into the flow and the sense, you know what I mean? Like you're in this growth period, and you really need to be aware of this. Um, like perhaps you can even seek out a person that, that has a high integrity that can help guide you into the right direction. Even like being here, if you found this video, I'm telling you that you're a really magical type being, because my readings, like I tune into like and channel extremely high energies. Like I'm talking like Jesus, even like I'm not trying to like boast my ego or anything, but um, this is just something that I know deep down in the core of my consciousness. You know what I mean? So the only problem is for you right now is I believe that there's some kind of fear that's keeping you from moving forward into the life that you truly deserve. Also, these cards came out, they brought up about that you could have been somebody that has gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of heart, um, shocking truths. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, Spirit. So, where do you want me to go from here? Okay. So, they're asking me to pull out. Okay. So, this deck here, evolution, and Misha diet. Change your diet to lighten your frequency to help create a better and more peaceful world. Okay, so this is what they're talking about, your contribution, like your witness, this witness card, the contribution to the whole. What is your contribution to the whole going to be? Purpose number 10, thinking. Make your thoughts conscious, intentional, and filled with love. Just like it has number 10 here, your presence, to control that thinking, because without this thinking, this presence card here, this is all about how you are able to calm the mind, how you're able to control and allow a higher energy to come in and bring you the messages, like to become the channeler spirit. What's going on here? Evolution, perception, number 9. And you see they keep bringing out like 9, and it's like it's going backward in evolution, because they're talking about your history. Like you probably don't know what is in your history, like, or maybe you do, I don't know, but um they're talking all the way back, like from kings. Like you could have been like an astrologer for a king, a seer, or an oracle, or a psychic or something, a healer even. Yeah. Change your perception to create a positive solution to the problem at hand. And then evolution is right underneath, changing the world. When you change yourself, you help to change circumstances in the world. No joke, you absolutely do. And this symbol is a symbol that comes to me quite often, this triangle with the circle with another triangle, and it's a high frequency portal, basically. Look, and then I was talking about healing, and it was right underneath that. Look, relationships, harmony. No joke, spirit. When you're feeling emotional, follow your thoughts to see what your emotions are showing you. See, that's the thing. Like, this is where they're talking about this empath. You need to realize, like, are these my emotions? Who was I around today? What was I dealing with all day? Because sometimes you'll come to the realization that these are not your emotions. These are not And there's just so much coming at us in a run of a day that it becomes very overtaking, overwhelming. Yeah. And it can take over, like, again, like I said, it can take over those thoughts. It can take over those emotions. All right, Spirit, what is it that you want them to know here? Healing diet. Examine your diet. Make better and healthier nutritional choices. They brought up about the diet twice now. Oh, look, and look right underneath. Look, it's the actual diet one that was in the very beginning. Oh my goodness. Number 4 is that foundation that I was talking about, that 134. Relationship communication. Communicate more clearly by allowing space for both listening and speaking. Okay, so we have number 4, the healing diet. Looking on the very bottom, relationship harmony. And I brought that card out at the very beginning, didn't I? Harmonize opposite and dualistic viewpoints for a more balanced life. A more balanced life. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's why they're bringing out a lot of 2s and 4s, because 2s and 4s are all about balance and foundations. And okay, so we have evolution here. We have relationship communications. So we have, the 4 and the 2. So the diet is a real thing here. This is a real thing, because what you put out is going to come back. You know what I mean? So what you're putting in your body, what you're filling into your mind and your psyche and your consciousness, what you're putting there is what's going to reflect back at you. Okay? So let's try to look at that a little bit. Maybe it's just a matter of like eating an extra vegetable a day or fruit and drinking more water. I'm not really sure, but you'll know what that is for you. And then you have the communication. Communicate more clearly to allow space. Yeah. For both listening and speaking. And they're bringing, and I was talking about that truth with these wheel cards here, right? Because these cards are the tree of life, right? These cards also is what they used to use to interpret the Bible, because these cannot be, it would be almost the same as if you were using the tarot, sort of, in a way. Okay, Spirit, what is they want here? Okay, they want me to bring out this one here. Okay, Spirit. Look at that. I was just talking about how I do readings for Jesus. Acts of service. When you serve, the universe serves you. Just like I was talking about here at this evolution. And the disciple, look at that, funny, Spirit. Because Jesus had disciples. Not saying that I am a disciple. I'm just saying that I am a channel for the highest energies of love, peace, and light. Oh my goodness, look, inner fire. And I'm going to tell you too, because this card here is about air. 8 and 10 are air. 9 is earth. And the seed, the witness, and the thirst, they're all fire. So it's almost like I got the impression that they're going to light a fire under all of these to bring in this new, because you're starting a new way of contributing to the whole. Okay. Is there another one here, Spirit? Before I started this, the card that kept popping out too was Saint Germain. All right, is there another card here, Spirit? Do you want? I don't think they want another card here. It comes out divine mission on the bottom, enlightened action, make choices from the heart. Like I was talking about, like your heart knows the truth. The witness card, that's where you're going to like speak out because your heart does know the truth. And you are either witnessing it or like in your day to day right now. So they're saying, like, what is your contribution to the whole? Okay. And you want one of these? Okay. So they want one of these here. All right, Spirit. Avoid wishful thinking. It's possible to confuse your desire for genuine intuitive guidance, especially when you're wishing for a specific outcome. Get a second opinion on your sixth sense via synchronicity. Ask Spirit to show you a clear sign in the external world about which direction to follow now. Trickster energy is afoot. Okay, because they wanted me to bring up when I was in the very beginning, I was talking about like being in the like how you can be like taken over with your emotions and your um thoughts and whatnot. And I was, they wanted me to say, because there's negative energy that's constantly patrolling, I guess, right? And, but I didn't want to bring up about the negative because I just find like they get too much spotlight, you know what I mean? And I don't want to give them that spotlight. Recognize signs and synchronicities. No joke. Oh, look at this. And they're telling you to respect your guidance dreams. My goodness, because you know what? They were even saying about like the thirst card here is all about your about dreams and illusions. So okay, so you could be receiving like messages in your dreams, because you know what, if you're not connected in your waking hours, like I'm channeling right now and bringing in this information for Jesus, which I didn't even know. I mean, it just happened that way. I said that, and then he's like, yeah, I am here. So, um, like, have respect for your dreams, because if you're not connecting like I do in my waking hours, like I used to receive my messages through my dreams because it was the only time like that I was open enough, because I was so busy with the day to day life. And that's why they keep bringing up the day to day. Okay, so avoid this wishful thinking. I'm just going to move these up here a little bit. I just don't want to. Oh, these are slippery cards underneath. And I just want to make sure. Okay, so the respect your guidance, dreams. Sleep can be a time of mystical awakening. Not all dreams convey intuitive messages, but drawing this card indicates you're currently receiving some interesting sixth sense guidance between the sheets. At dawn, quickly record the vivid, memorable nuances of your nocturnal adventures. Discern which is your nightly dreams deserve your waking attention. Now, me, this is what was um, happened for me. Like I would have dreams and I would always remember them if they were of importance. And not only that, the ones that I knew were going to come true were the dreams that I would have, and I would wake up with great emotion attached to the dream. And if I had like this great emotion in the dream, like when I was having this dream and witnessing my dream, and I had immense, overpowering emotion with it, I knew that dream was going to come true. And I'll tell you, each and every one of those dreams that I have had in the past, each and every one of them have come true. And now I can just sit here and have a conversation with you or with myself, or just randomly say something to somebody, and then that actually comes to pass. So I'm pretty good about predicting things, you know what I mean? Okay. Oh my God, looking right underneath that, practice clairvoyance number 10 again. So like 10, 10, 10 is like, you know, we have like the 10 out here. And this is, this card again is, what is it again? The presence, yeah, that's about your crown. Like that's about you being present to accept channel messages. So they're saying, and yeah, because they were even talking about in these cards about how um you know, to about practicing it, about practicing I don't know which card it was. I don't know which card it was that talked about practicing. Um, I think it's the disciple one or the signs. Yeah, the signs, because that's about um it's about learning, it's about practicing and strengthening those um connections, you know what I mean? So number 9, and they're bringing out the 9-10 a lot, the 8-9-10. So some coincidences are random and others are full of meaning. If you dream of someone and then run into them by chance, read a slogan on a billboard. That's like an answer to a prayer. Or a friend recommends a book on a subject you've been privately pondering, consider it a sign. Again, this is where they're talking about, just what we were talking about earlier about how deciphering like the meanings and the understandings and all that and how it's different for everyone, right? Okay, spirit. Is there anything that you want me to? Okay, so they just want me to read this. I just wanted to see if there was anything else they wanted me to. Okay, so that's this one here. Dearest you, there are times you get lost but refuse to see your part in things. Happens to everyone. Something feels familiar but sort of off. If you're feeling confused, it's best to throw away that map you're using, which only lets you navigate based on your past experiences. That isn't what you need right now. Instead, take a deep breath and open to the truth. A desire to stay in denial means that part of you doesn't want to be responsible for the pattern that's shown up in your life. Yes, this is the right time to wake up and start again. By the way, you will always get another chance. You have unlimited chances to start again. We love you so much. We really do. Be gentle with yourself. Coming out of denial is like being temporarily blinded by super bright lights. Allow your eyes to adjust. Carry on. Special one. A beautiful life awaits. Loving you so, so much. Okay, so this is really, um, Spirit is really just trying to explain to you, like, when you become like overwhelmed and your senses are like being bombarded because you have all these mental powers, because you have all of this within your blueprint, you're somebody that's easily, um, basically, yeah, you're being bombarded by negative energies. You're really like, like they said, like they've really ramped up. Like it's really afoot at this time, so you really have to, constantly be. I mean, I'm talking like you might have to do this 3 times a day, even like pull your energy back and go. Is this really me? Is this really how I feel? Is this really what I'm wanting or thinking? Or, why am I receiving this kind of information? It's weird. Like all of those things can be overwhelming, so to take that, like that, just to kind of take that step back, like put all your tools down, stop all your efforts for just a little while and wait and watch and then reattune yourself to the flow again you know, because you're such a high level being. And I know you don't truly believe me. I can feel that, but you have to accept the fact that you truly are. Your heart truly knows. And I know your heart knows. I mean, you can try to deny it to yourself in your waking moments, but there's so many synchronicities, there's so many things that have been happening that you can no longer deny it. Okay. All right, spirits, what else is there? Is there anything else that you want me to? Is there any like words of encouragement or? Okay, that's all Spirit has for you today, which is a big message. I guess this is where you really need to, get ready, because even if you don't feel like you're ready or that you're good enough or you have any real things to share in the world, I'm telling you, just healing a little bit every day, understanding where you belong in the universe, because we're all one. You're going to be, you could be a channel just like me, like, and this is, I believe this is what you were, because the people that find these videos, they're for people that are like breaking out of their illusions and healing. And I'll even make note here, because like this healing card here, um it talks about like starting this healing, and it's like this big circle here, but it also, there's like triangles in there, and it has the affinity symbol in the upright, and and also it has the pyramid. So there's a lot going on here, and like, or even talking about the heart, and you notice that they have, um I'm assuming, is that the moon? And they had me put out my moon card here. I think that might be the world. And then they had me put out my moon card, sorry, my moon light here. And then they got the triangle with the heart in it. I'm telling you, you're somebody that is, you might not believe it, but you truly are. If you've found this video, this is about you. This is you, because you are me and I am you. And we all belong to this collective. We are all part of the collective. And Jesus just really wants to know, like, what's your contribution to the whole? What is it going to be? Are you going to witness it? Are you going to be a bystander to it? Are you going to speak out? Are you going to follow your heart? Because your heart knows the truth. Right now, it knows the truth. And maybe your mind kind of jumps in there and goes, oh, how could I be this, or how can I be that? Because we are all this. We are all this and much more. You might not believe in your full power. You don't believe your full power. And I'm hopefully this reading will help change that. And with that, Spirit, that's all I have. That's all they have. Yes, this is all they have. And so I'm going to just send you all my love and light. And if you've made it this far in the video, hit the like button, share, and the notification. You'll receive more messages from the Holy Trinity. And it's funny too, because I brought up, like, when I thought the number 3 was the Holy Trinity. These readings just really blow my mind every time, literally every time. And I'm just very grateful, Spirit. So thank you for allowing me to deliver this message to the collective today. And if you're part of the collective like me, um, all the love and light that I have will come through these cards for you today. And with that, I'm signing off. So have a good one. Bye.